welcome to Monday Morning Detective, the podcast. This is episode number 27, and I'm your host, Gino Scala. Today we're going to briefly discuss the Facebook page regarding the Idaho murders, and it's a discussion page. And I found it accidentally and joined probably a week ago, maybe 5 days ago or so. Didn't really monitor it much, looked at a few things, and it seemed like people were in the habit of posting their theories on the case, and we all have them. And I assume we're all true crime aficionados. That being said, I read some of the theories that were out there. Of course, I've been keeping up with the news since it happened. From the very first informal press conference that the mayor held, that just set this investigation off into a very bad direction. And so I was reading some of the theories and decided, well, I'm going to put out my theory because I haven't heard it addressed at all. So I did. Explained a little bit about my background and experience, and then presented my theory, which, as you all know, is the serial killer theory. And it's one that is just as viable, I suppose, as any other theory within reason. And I think the longer we go without any specific suspects being called out or any real specific direction in which the investigation is going, and right now there is none, I think this theory holds water. What I don't know is whether or not this is the first of this person's murders. Now, back to this page, I joined it, posted my theory, and received 1.7 thousand or 1,700 likes and just about as many comments, and 95% of those comments were positive. And it was very refreshing and very, it was very empowering. The ones that took away from the experience of being within a group, a like-minded group, were probably a total of 5%. Now we're talking about a group with 120,000. And just to give you a little background on it, the managers of the page, the originators, the owners, and the monitors are all unbelievably good. The research that these people do, and the day-to-day monitoring of arguments, debates, trolls, and things of that nature have been really, really good, which makes the whole experience that much better. So kudos to them. I think there's some involvement with Fox News in some way, or whether it's local in Idaho or national, I don't know. But all I can say is that they're very, very good, and very good at their job and very good at this page. And I couldn't get over the research that they do. Really thorough. So they have some knowledge and some access to databases that most of us do not have. Well, that being said, the detractors from this page run from the run-of-the-mill trolls that simply come out and make fun of people's appearance, make fun of the way they talk if it's on video, make fun of their spelling, um, use of grammar and text. It's just, they're not there to add anything. They're just there to subtract. And they were identified early on by me and others, I suppose. And some of them have disappeared, so I'm guessing that they've been taken off. What I've experienced since, after I posted my theory and then went through every single comment, liking it or loving it or answering any questions, which, once you go through 1,700 comments and then you go to the top, there's another 1,700 that have come either as a result of your responses or just the people from the next day. So it's an endless cycle. And I call it a rabbit hole because you really do end up spending way too much time. If you have the time, great. And this is your thing, then you can spend all day. I can't. And unfortunately, I got lost in that and trapped. And sometimes I don't have the willpower to pull away to do what I'm supposed to do. So as a result, I removed myself from the group. So now what I'm saying in retrospect is that, some people are on there just to argue their position. Now, just to give you an idea, if someone posts something that, let's say, I don't agree with, then I don't have any more information other than experience. I don't have any more information about this case, but I have experience in similar cases, similar types of crimes. And I had a quadruple homicide. And, so I've worked with the FBI. I know how certain things go. So I bring that to the table, but I'm not in a position to say they're absolutely wrong and I'm absolutely right, because their theory is as valid or invalid as my own. And I understand that and I appreciate that. Some are a bit out there, but as a general rule, if they want to believe that it's one of the roommates that did it, or an ex-boyfriend, or one of the parents, or God forbid, they've brought up some undocumented drug history from the victims, where that's kind of where I draw the line. I don't like to see victims blamed for their own demise unless it's documented and not rumor. Anyway, I'll say, I'll respond and say their theory is good. I haven't thought of that before, but how does this play into it? Or do you really think somebody could do this? Now, the same thing was said on mine. Probably the most common response was, I don't believe it's a serial killer. Why would a serial killer target this house that he's never been in? 4 or 5 cars parked out in front, and he knows, there are at least 6 people in the house. These are all good, valid points, except, you just have to do a little bit of research and realize that not only have serial killers before this have done exactly that, but even more dangerous settings. College dorms. This was a off-campus house, but Ted Bundy and Danny Rolling went on the campus, entered the girls' dorm, and killed multiple people. I mean, you can't be any more in the public eye if you're trying to hide than being in the middle of a girl's dorm with at least 20 rooms on each floor. That's one response to that argument. Also, people put a lot of weight into the fact that if it's a stranger, they weren't aware of the layout of the house. Well, you can walk into my house and never have been here before and find the bedrooms and find the bathrooms. I mean, it's not difficult. Even with the lights out, you could probably do that. So I don't put any weight on that. And of course, the last of the responses is, why would a serial killer leave two people alive? Well, he didn't leave two people alive. It's not like he opened their door, saw them, and decided not to kill them. Their rooms were downstairs in the basement. B, their doors are believed to have been locked from the inside, which is what the two surviving students have said. And C, he probably never went downstairs. Why would you? You'd think it's a garage. So he just didn't know. And it didn't matter because they didn't hear or see anything. So he didn't leave them alive on purpose. Now, people have the belief that it's targeted, and, the police have said this. They haven't explained why. One of the parents insists that it's targeted. It was originally targeted against his daughter. I don't know if I don't know the basis for that other than he thinks her injuries are worse. And there could be many reasons for her injuries being worse. Then, of course, you get the people that are questioning who was sleeping where and why and blah, 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 blah. All I can say is I have had two girls that have gone through college. And it is very common for high school and college age girls to sleep together in the same bed for no other reason than they're two girly girls checking their phones, gossiping, texting boys, blah, 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 and then they go to sleep. Guys don't do that. It's a girl thing. This is very common for girls in college to do. Now, you add to the fact that Kaylee had already, finished her classes, and my understanding was she had moved out, and she had come back just for that weekend. So she had no other place to sleep, I suppose. But look, to me, that plays no, it has no effect on the outcome of this situation. So we assume the killer went door to door, at least on the second and third floors, and killed the occupants of those rooms. And that was that. Now, we won't know until we catch this person whether or not it was a specific, someone was specifically targeted and the others were just collateral damage or what. So, in any event, this page got to the point where the arguments got personal very quickly, got insulting very quickly, and I can only assume that the managers were, it is Christmas week. They've got better things to do than to monitor this crazy page 24/7. So perhaps after the New Year's, they'll come back and see, all of these arguments that went on and start reinforcing the rules. Prior to this Christmas week, it was well monitored. But that's neither here or there. I left for personal reasons. Okay? I don't get chased out. I can stand up with the best of them. But when you spend 36 hours straight on a Facebook page, you're down the rabbit hole. And It's easy for me to do that. It's easy for me to get distracted, and I have to maintain some control. So the best thing I could do is remove myself. As far as the podcast, I maybe 5 new members. Nothing much, you know. I don't do this for an audience. I do it because I enjoyed it. And, um, you know, that's it. So I'm no longer on the page. I might go back when my work is all caught up and done, which should be another year. We'll see. But for now, I'm off it, and I've got other things to do. I'm still involved in this case from a podcast perspective, and I'll cover other cases as we go. There are a million true crime podcasts and pages out there, and I don't want to be one of a million. I'm just doing this for myself and my personal friends, really. If you find it enjoyable and want to follow and comment and such, come aboard. I'm always looking for guests. I'm always looking for people with different point of views or some insight. We've had an investigator from the John Benet Ramsey case. I have an investigator friend in California with 30 plus years of investigation who, we talked about some of the cases he's been involved in, we've been involved in together. So I'm always looking to meet new friends and discuss true crime and, give them the opportunity to say their piece on this show. Okay? So that'll be it for episode number 27. And that'll be it for probably for until breaking news on this case or a new case happening. Christmas time does bring out the loons in some cases, and we just might see something along those lines. But otherwise, we'll just wait until any major updates and, like I said, any new cases. Okay? I want you all to enjoy your holidays, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate, and be safe and, be careful with the severe weather out there. So, this is Gino Scala signing off. Have a great day. Bye-bye.